idea of improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making this.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Biddy, and I'm here with alleged producer, Brian. What's up?
Oh, just sitting over here pushing buttons. Didn't expect to be on tonight, so I didn't shave or anything. I know I look kind of rough, but yeah.
No, you look great. You look like rugged American right there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, welcome everybody. We got some very crazy news. We got a breaking story, of course, you might have heard already, which we'll get to first. But just to let you know, you guys can follow the show on X at @therealroma_AK. You can also follow me if you like on X, Elizabeth213A or Brian Tidwell1 or the Get Off Your Lawn guy. You can also go to the Q&R code up the screen that brings you to our website, riseofmiddleamerica.com, where you can see all of our news, latest stories, hosts, and all of our socials, Discord, and others. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, we have a pretty tragic story. It's really unfortunate, but it is tragic, coming out of Minneapolis. So from NBC News, Minneapolis driver shot and killed by ICE officer during immigration-related operation, DHS says. An immigration and customs enforcement agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis on Wednesday after a group of people began blocking agents during an immigration-related operation, the Department of Homeland Security said. Dueling narratives emerged over what led to the shooting, with Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin claiming the woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill him, and local officials saying they have seen video disputing those claims. ICE agents were conducting targeted operations in Minneapolis when the shooting happened. Police described the deceased as a middle-aged white woman who did not appear to be the target of any law enforcement investigation or activity. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey pushed back on DHS's narrative in a press conference Wednesday afternoon. Quote, "They're already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense," Frey said, referring to ICE. Another quote here, "Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly that is, BS." Video posted to social media shows several agents approaching a burgundy SUV in the middle of the street and ordering the driver to get out. When one agent grabs the driver's side door handle, the car reverses and then drives forward. An agent standing near the front of the vehicle appears to draw his firearm and fire 3 shots at it, the video shows. The vehicle then crashes into a parked car and hits a light pole. The agent fired what McLaughlin said were, quote, defensive shots and killed the woman. He used his training and saved his own life, that of his fellow officers, she said. Frey said the first priority of local law enforcement after the shooting was to get the victim to the hospital, and the second was to get ICE off the scene because they were making a difficult situation more problematic. What they're doing is causing chaos and distrust. They are ripping families apart, sowing chaos in the streets, and in this case, quite literally killing people, he said. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. Frey has a message for federal immigration agents in the city to ICE, get the F out of Minneapolis, the mayor said. We do not want you here. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said at a press conference that the agents' vehicles got stuck in the snow and they were trying to push them out when the woman attacked them. It was an act of domestic terrorism, she said. Yeah, so this is really quite unfortunate. I don't like to hear that somebody lost their life. That is the worst thing to hear. So, you know, condolences to any of her family. But I will say that what's being done here is, in my opinion, politicians who want to stay in power, who want to continue a narrative, who don't want their voters to be deported, that they ushered in here illegally, who don't want fraud and all these other things that they've been doing to get out. So they're using the people that maybe have a chip on their shoulder, maybe they're getting paid, maybe they feel like they're trying to do something to help their fellow man, and they're radicalizing them to the point where they're going out there and they know you are impeding investigations, you're trying to block cars, you're attacking ICE agents, you know, all these different things that we've seen happen all across the country. The politicians aren't out here doing that. They're, you know, they get on the press conference and they have their, you know, shiny suits on and whatever, and then, you know, they pretend like they're standing with them, but they're not. They're literally not standing with them. They're utilizing these people out there, and because people are getting radicalized out there, and because there's some people that, you know, probably are at a point where they're not thinking clearly, we have this woman who I've seen videos. I've seen a video of a bystander who said that she saw this person who was kind of like heading the protest or at the beginning of the line, being very successful blocking ICE agents' cars and things like that. And she was blocking the vehicle. They kept telling her to move. She didn't listen. Then they said, okay, now you're going to get detained for doing what you're doing. They went over to her car. They tried to open her vehicle. She reverses, and then she does move forward. There's a cop right in front of you. So if either, like, did you not look where you were going, or were you intending to go towards the officer in front of you and hit him? Whatever, who cares? Hit him.
From all the videos I've seen, there's different angles all over the place. From bystander video being put out now, it's clear that she gunned that. She pointed the wheels at that officer. She gunned it in an attempt to charge him, and she did strike him. And he pulled his weapon and he defended himself. A vehicle is a weapon.
Yeah,
it can be used as a weapon.
Yep.
And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, and we've seen domestic terrorists in other cases use cars as weapons. We've seen that happen a lot. We saw it in New Orleans. We saw it a few years back at the Christmas pageant. I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was put in jail for what he did. I mean, of course, he hurt a lot of people, and so did the person in New Orleans. But they're being told by these corrupt politicians that I started out with, and the media that are siding with these corrupt politicians, that don't worry, we got your back. What you're doing is standing alongside people, and you're helping. And what they should be telling them is, you have a voice, fine. You want to protest, fine. but you have to stay within these guidelines. You can't block, officer vehicles. You can't impede on investigations. If they're telling you to step back, you have to listen. If they were actually responsible, they would say these things. And then they come out and they say, oh, they're trying to impede free speech. Free speech doesn't include you throwing rocks at an ICE agent's vehicle. It doesn't include you standing in front of a vehicle. It doesn't include you, getting violent with them. That's not free speech. And everybody with a right mind knows this. And now what? This woman is deceased. And now they're going to what? They're going to try and defer from all of the fraud and everything that's going on and make it all about this. There's already protests going on. The protesters are attacking federal buildings, telling everybody to rise up. And then what does Walz and the mayor do? They get on out there and say, rise up and
stoke the flames.
And stoke the flames.
And in Minneapolis right now, as we speak, the federal courthouse there, the windows have been broken. They've turned out, they are in riot mode, and it's going to get ugly.
Yep.
So ugly that, let me share this tab that you sent me. This is their esteemed governor there, which is probably the root cause of all this.
Yeah, you might have to click on that left video to pull it up because it was like acting weird.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do.
As you always do.
As you always. Pause that right there.
To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger.
Yeah. Peaceful protest, Minnesota style.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the whole point of that post. But yeah, we hear you, Libs of TikTok. We hear you.
Yep.
Let's see what Nick Sorter had something. Yeah, I was talking about the writing has begun. This comes from Nick Sorter on X.
Yeah, Rick, the victim's name was Renee Nicole Good. Yep. Hey, Vash, no worries. Thank you for joining.
What are you saying, Biddy? I was having trouble hearing over the video.
They released the name of the one that was deceased, Renee Nicole Good.
Yeah. We could do a whole other segment on her backstory. But none of it is surprising.
Yeah.
It's Minneapolis is going to get ugly. We'll probably be talking about Tay and AK will probably be talking about this tomorrow night too.
It really, really pisses me off. It's really pissing me off because we've gotten into this point where we're just like throwing buzzwords back and forth at each other, and nobody's listening, and people are dying. And what people with big platforms like mainstream media, because nobody has a bigger platform that gets to everybody, they're in doctors' offices and everything, they need to say things that are responsible. Like I said earlier, you need to say you can exercise your First Amendment right. You can go out there with signs and protest. You cannot block traffic. You cannot block federal agent vehicles. You cannot go try to step up to federal agents and get in their face like that. That's not First Amendment rights. You're literally in spitting distance if you're not touching them. All of this needs to stop. It's like the same thing that's happening with with regular police all across the country. People that are breaking the law on the road, they become emboldened to be like, well, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to listen to you. You're, whatever. Instead of saying, take the ticket and then go and fight it in court, they're literally trying to fight the officers on the street. And then sometimes it does escalate to something really terrible. And the people that have these big megaphones, they understand this and they know this very well, but yet they do it anyway. And that I know this is like really small potato, but they really need to bring back the Smith-Mundt Act. Like, that's just like at least just one little thing that they need to really do, and start holding these media outlets accountable for lying to the people and spreading false information and propaganda.
Right. Well, I can't think of a good transition for this, but the bottom line is this is what they want. I think they're trying to goad Trump into invoking the Insurrection Act so that they can paint him as a tyrant leading into the 2026 congressional midterm elections. Because, hey, the only way we're going to get this clown out of office is to impeach him. And the only way we're going to be able to impeach him and get him out of office, we got to have Congress back. That they'll run on that. I'm absolutely convinced I'm convinced they want Trump to institute to invoke, I should say, the Insurrection Act.
Yep. They're definitely trying to play chess. And I say this all the time. Like, we can say like this one's dumb or that one's, whatever, this and that and the other thing. But they have a lot of people around them who are not dumb, and they're going to be very strategic in their actions, and they're going to work very hard because a lot of people around them are still making money off of the corruption, and they don't want that to stop. They want to be able to keep that money train flowing. They want to keep themselves in office. So they're going to, continue, and it doesn't matter who falls in the process. Even if the whole country falls to pieces, they'd rather rule over ashes than be taken out of power.
Agreed. Well, like I said, this story is still developing. It started with the shooting of a protester, which I think she earned, and it's devolving into George Floyd style riots in Minneapolis. Yep. I hope that Old Man Winter kind of sends another Arctic blast that way. Yes, because I think that more than anything else will quell any riots.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so too. Everybody pray for a big blizzard.
All right. Well, we've got other big news today. This one comes at you from ABC News. We seized another oil tanker. This time it's Russian flagged, and this time it's in the North Atlantic, not in the Caribbean. So that's kind of surprising. U.S. Coast Guard's moved to seize the Marinera oil tanker, sources said. The U.S. on Wednesday seized 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela, including the Russian-flagged Marinera oil tanker, formerly known as the Bella One, that had evaded a U.S. blockade in December. The Marinera was transiting the North Atlantic, according to 3 sources familiar with the operation. The operation was being carried out by the U.S. Coast Guard and other military assets, according to the source. Russian military vessels were in the area as the situation unfolded. They basically watched us grab their tanker. In a post on X, U.S. European Command confirmed the seizure of the tanker in the North Atlantic. The U.S. on Wednesday seized another tanker in the Caribbean, according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. In 2 pre-dawn operations today, the Coast Guard conducted back-to-back, meticulously coordinated boarding of 2 Ghost Fleet tanker ships. Let's see, scroll down a little bit. Where is my mouse? There it is. Where's I at? 2 pre-dawn operations today. U.S. Coast Guard conducted back-to-back, meticulously coordinated boarding of 2 Ghost Fleet tanker ships, one in the North Atlantic Sea and one in the international waters near the Caribbean. Noem said on a post on X. Both vessels, motor tanker Bella One and motor tanker Sophia, were either last docked in Venezuela or en route to it. Some cool fucking thermal imagery here. Sorry, I said a bad word.
Wow, that's wild, huh?
The Coast Guard had been tracking the Marinera tanker for the last 2 weeks after attempting to seize it on December 20th, when the empty ship was in the Caribbean, apparently headed to Venezuela. On December 31st, the Russian Maritime Register of Shipping listed the ship with the new name Marinera as a Russian vessel. The ship's crew also painted a Russian flag on the ship's side. The Bella 1 previously flew false Panamanian flag and is suspected to be part of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, which Moscow is accused of using to evade international sanctions. The ship recently activated its transponder, allowing open source maritime tracking websites to locate the ship as it was being in the North Atlantic Ocean close to Iceland and the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom issued a statement saying it supported U.S. seizure of the Russian flag tanker. Interesting. Rare show of support from the beans on toast people. The Russian military Ministry of Transport condemned the seizure of the oil tanker in the North Atlantic in a statement on Wednesday. U.S. naval forces boarded the vessel in international waters outside the territorial waters of any state, and contact with the vessel was lost, the statement read. Minister said, no state has a right to use force against vessels duly registered in jurisdictions of other states. White House press secretary... press secretary called the tanker Venezuela Shadow Fleet vessel. Okay.
I would love to hear if they start defending Russia now.
Oh, yeah, they're all screaming international. The folks on the left are all screaming international law. Trump can't do this, and we're becoming a rogue state. Whatever. Do something about it.
Right.
I invite you to do something about it.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, we were at the tipping point of really losing our entire country. We're still, dangerously close to that because we have a lot of internal factions that are trying to break everything down. But a lot of this stuff has been building for a long time, and as they said, these tankers, try to get around the sanctions that they have, to be traveling over here. They'll turn their transponders off to kind of go ghost, so that way you can't even see that they're, where they are. They won't pop up on the radar. But we also did, we had another seized tanker last month that was full of oil. This one apparently was empty as far as we know. The oil-filled one now sits off the coast of Texas, and we can expect that the U.S. government will, take the legal steps necessary to take ownership of that oil. At least, that's what some people are, expecting to happen.
Yeah.
We will see soon, what a possible, conflicts this might cause between the U.S. and Russia. However, if Russia was already skulking around, as I said, in our backyard, we just basically came over and said, we see you, we gave you a chance because they've been chasing them all over, to flee. You didn't take it, and now your toys are ours. Because Trump does do that. He does that in every action. Even with the immigration. I mean, he gave people the opportunity to leave on their own. He even said, we'll pay you. And then they didn't, and said, okay, now we're going to take you out.
That's the point. But, you might ask yourself, what's the point of taking an empty oil tanker? Well, the point is you're taking a piece off the board from them.
Right. Have you ever played Battleship?
Yeah.
Right.
You taking one of their pieces off the board. And to answer the chat, yes, Rick, I have seen Line Crossers, the Yoinking video. I have seen that. It is awesome. I would recommend that for anyone. So
nice. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But I imagine it's kind of funny too, because I think I asked you this before. I said, they're always saying how Trump and Putin are best friends. So I wonder what they're going to say now. They're probably already trying to spin it and scramble around to spin it in a way that it makes him look bad and still friends with him in some way, so that way when they decide to use that narrative again, it's still usable. I don't know.
At the end of the day, I mean, I'm not going to call it 3D chess or 4D chess or anything like that to jump on the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the way these things are coming together, it's pretty obvious that Trump is trying to maximize pressure on Putin, I think, to end the war in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. You got to take away some of his leverage. And, there's talks about Greenland.
Yeah.
That's, they're talking about that as well.
Yeah, that was almost the international update story tonight.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But
I went
this
the
is
other way.
all tied in
It's all
still with
tied together.
Russia, China, because China was trying to get their hands on that area over there.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be another shipping trading route, going forward at some point. So Trump, listen, we say this all the time. Yes, question people in power. We should do our own research and try to figure out what's going on. We shouldn't just blindly follow people. However, you should also concede that you don't have all the information. We're not
Right.
privy to it. We can understand, maybe some geopolitical stuff. We can understand, maybe how pieces are being moved on the board and stuff like that, but we don't have all the information. Trump does, people around him do. They understand what the future is going to hold, how, these other powers, China, Russia, how they're moving
Iran.
things around. Yeah. How they're moving things around to try and create a future to where they can challenge us. They can, become the higher superpower in the future and things like that. So there's a lot going on. And if you really look, a lot of these things, like I keep saying, they're all connected. And Venezuela was basically like the hitman, the bitch, boy for, these three areas that are trying to hurt us.
Right.
Even the protesting, all of that, there's been a lot of talk about, I don't know, a CEO, a really wealthy CEO that's connected with the CCP that have been funding a lot of the NGOs that are funding the protesting. So that's being investigated. They're trying to destroy this country. And it's a very powerful country, and they need to do it in strategic ways. And they're doing it 7 ways from Sunday. They're doing it from all different kind of angles. And that's what we're saying when you're saying, like, this is not moving fast enough. This is not happening. Yeah, because there's a lot. It's a lot.
You gotta set a lot of pieces in place.
Right.
Before it can all come together.
That's right. So just when you feel overwhelmed in that regard, just sit back and say, let go and let God, because it's and just pray for Trump and the people in office that they're going to be able to do the right thing and to save us from, I don't know, is annihilation too crazy of a word to say? I don't know. But yeah.
And speaking of, chess pieces, this may be the next to fall if you want to take the Fox News story.
Absolutely. All right. So basically, people all over the world are asking Trump to come and save them now. They saw what happened in Venezuela, and they saw what happened in Nigeria, and they're all petitioning for Trump to come and save them. So coming to you from Fox News, Iranian protesters actually rename Tehran Street after Trump, and they plead, don't let them kill us amid crackdown. So Iranian protesters intensified nationwide demonstrations over the past 24 hours, directly appealing to President Donald Trump while chanting anti-regime slogans. Footage published Wednesday showed a protester in Tehran symbolically renaming a street after Trump, while other videos captured handwritten appeals reading, "Don't let them kill us," Iran International reported. Holly Dagris, a senior fellow at the Washington Institute, posted the video on X stating, quote, "Since Trump's comments about the Iran protests, I've seen videos of, I guess it's a misspoke, of Iranian protesters either thanking him or, in this case, renaming streets after the U.S. president." The appeals came as demonstrators faced a widening security crackdown, including the deployment of armed units and tear gas near major civilian sites in Tehran. And here's, there's the video there in the middle, basically just taking a made sign and plastering it right on top of the street sign there. Yeah. And it just says, I think it says President Donald Trump at the bottom there. It's kind of blurry. Yeah, it's really, really interesting what's going on. Exiled Iranian opposition leader Reza Pahlavi said the current unrest represents a historic opportunity to end Iran's Islamic Republic. Quote, in all these years, I've never seen an opportunity as we see today in Iran, Pahlavi said in an interview aired Tuesday on Hannity. Quote, Iranian people are more than ever committed to bringing an end to this regime. As the world has witnessed in the last few days, the level of demonstrations is unprecedented in Iran, he said. Pahlavi said protests have spread to more than 100 cities and emphasized the role of Iran's traditional merchant class, describing developments inside the country's bazaars as a turning point. Quote, we are beginning to see more and more defections, Pahlavi said, adding that either way, the regime is crumbling and is very close to collapsing. Over the past 24 hours, Iran International reported continued protests and strikes across the country, including in Tehran, Tabriz, Kazvin, Kermanshah, Kerman, Shiraz, Falavaran, and Bandar Abbas. Tehran's Grand Bazaar remained a focal point of unrest, with large crowds chanting against Iran's leadership as authorities responded with tear gas and armed deployments. Security operations expanded into sensitive civilian locations. Video published by Iran International showed tear gas use. Yeah, and I seen some videos where the women in Iran, they had like a bonfire in the middle of the protest. They were taking their hijab off and throwing it in the fire and just kind of letting their hair fly around. They don't want to be under Islamic rule anymore.
No.
With that is what's going on, especially with that one woman. But they don't want to be under this tyranny. They want freedom. They want prosperity. They want to, they don't want to have their children being forced into different factions at a young age, but putting a gun in their hand. Anybody with a right mind wants that, but they've been so ripe for the picking in that area. It's just so entrenched. And I imagine just decades and decades of a corrupt, governments and politicians and things like that.
The Ayatollahs and the mullahs or whatever that have placed themselves in charge of that, they've been actually pretty decent at keeping themselves in charge, but using tyrannical methods, including the secret morality police that they had in the in the Revolutionary Guard Corps, and it's eventually people reach a point, and it looks like they're just about there. And I don't want to give anything away. I mean, but there's been a lot of very suspicious movements of strategic assets toward that part of the world. Mm-hmm. Like the same kind of strategic assets that, yoinked Maduro out of Venezuela. So, I mean, maybe nothing. I mean, maybe something. Maybe we're about to do, some quick and dirty regime change in Iran as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if I voted for that, but if it can be done effectively and it doesn't lock us down in that part of the world for another 20 fucking years, then okay, I'll listen.
Right. I'm open to a new discussion if it's done right. Yeah, I know. I'm conflicted about this kind of stuff too, because I really did like the whole idea of no new wars and, trying to concentrate on ourselves because we have a lot, but there's two things that I look at here. This particular area is part of this, collection of people who are trying to fund and attack us in different ways. And so it would be beneficial for us to keep them in check. And also I see people that are in constant terror, human beings. And listen, I mean, we're a huge superpower. and the people are even asking for Trump's help, and it's sad. I like I said, I'm conflicted about it because I don't want any conflicts like this, but I trust that if they feel like it's something that we have to do, it's necessary for whatever reason, that we're just going to have to roll with it. What else can we do? I don't know. It's just crazy. And I hope they do it in a way like how he's doing with Venezuela, where you don't, extract one and then another one just rolls right in the same spot. Doing the same thing over and over again. It's just a repeat.
Yep. All right. Biddy, are you prepared to cover the next story?
Kinda, but we might as well.
Rip the Band-Aid off, right?
Yes. And, I would be a hypocrite because I say people need to talk about, the uncomfortable conversations if I don't talk about my own uncomfortable conversation in my own city. So coming to you from New York Post, Zora Mamdani's woke privileged tenant advocate Sia Weaver breaks down crying when asked about hypocritical gentrification comments. Mayor Zora Mamdani's newly instated radical left tenant advocate Sia Weaver broke down Wednesday as she dodged questions from reporters about her gentrification hypocrisy. The 37-year-old, who has faced backlash for blasting homeownership as a weapon of white supremacy, she says, in the past, teared up when she emerged briefly from her apartment building in Crown Heights, Brooklyn at about 9 a.m. Weaver, who was tapped by Mamdani to be his new director of the City Office of Protect Tenants, quickly ran back inside after she was asked about the $1.6 million home her mother owns in Nashville, Tennessee. Interest in Mamdani's hire kicked off after some of her old social media posts in which the Rochester transplant railed against gentrification resurfaced last week, saying there is no such thing as a good gentrifier, only people who are actively working on projects to dismantle white supremacy and capitalism, and people who aren't. Basically, you can only be racist against white people.
Right, basically. Yeah.
Private property, including any kind of especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy, she said in a 2019 post. Weaver once whined too about gentrification in her own Crown Heights neighborhood, despite being a middle-class white woman who attended Bryn Mawr College and NYU. Quote, where I live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, we saw this cycle where landlords and bankers and policymakers have driven up the value of real estate using speculative financial capital. The speculative financial capital. I love that. The housing market crashed, and then the solution to that was just a different private equity firm coming in and owning the buildings. Weaver told Dissent magazine in an interview published last winter prior to her joining Mamdani's administration. She said the cycle fueled waves of gentrification in Crown Heights. I know I sent you like a little clip of her. Basically, it's really quite alarming what
yeah, I think I've got it. Yeah, I've got it in the stack. Yep.
Yeah, it's really crazy what she says in this video. It's an old video, but this is basically where this is all starting from.
Get the sound. Share the tab. Full screen. And yeah.
I'm not hearing it. Maybe just gotta like reshare it. I'm not hearing it, Brian.
Oh, okay. Let's try to.
People with their signs cancel rent. Oh, God.
What about now?
No. Oh, it's fine. I mean, don't worry. It's basically what she said is up at the top of the screen. We've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. And she says, people are, and mostly white people, but even some people of color, will have to understand that there's going to be a different relationship with their property. So here's just a little bit of context about what's going on to that end, like what they're trying to do. So there's the COPA Act, COPA, the acronym, it was passed in New York City on December 18, 2025. And basically, what it says is you have to, if you want to sell your property, you have to allow the government some time to purchase it. You have to give them the opportunity to purchase it first. If they decline to, then you have to give some like NGOs and some organizations in the area time to purchase it, maybe for daycares and things like that. And then if all of that is spent, then you can try to sell it privately to somebody, as we normally did. Even so, if you do find a private buyer, the like an NGO or something can just swoop in and say, well, I'm going to match that or whatever and be able to purchase it. Like they'll get the upper
Or
hand.
even if they underbid, they have to take, if it's one of those entities, if it's nowhere close to the asking price, they can still underbid it and get awarded the contract for the property.
And they were teasing this idea with the whole thing with Letitia James and everything when they went after Trump. They were trying to say what his property was worth, even in Florida. This is what is on their mind. They want to be able to dictate. They want communism. They want all of that. They want to be able to dictate what your stuff is worth. They don't want you to have your own stuff. They want it to be a collective good, as they say. But there is some good news on that one act. It was vetoed by former Mayor Adams before he left office. So now it does have to go through city council, and they would need 2/3 of the vote in order to get it unvetoed, to get it passed. So that's good at least. But listen, if you're out there in New York City, really, and you have property, you might really want to think about selling, like today, like now, because you're not going to have a chance soon. You're going to get really screwed. Hey, Doug.
Hi, Doug. I pulled the chat up just so we could say hi, Doug.
What's up? Yeah, so it's really scary. I mean, amongst other things that Mamdani's done, I mean, when he was sworn in, he revoked like 9 executive orders. A bunch of them were, to protect the Jewish community, that were against any boycotting of, Jewish-owned businesses and things like that. He revoked all of those orders. He revoked, I believe he's like rolling back on the counterterrorism, daily briefings and things like that. I mean, there's just so much happening, and it's going to happen extremely fast, and nobody's really going to oppose it because a lot of people, I think they said like 7 million people didn't vote, but I don't know if that number is true, but I seen that today. But a lot of people didn't vote. The ones that did vote, I mean, who knows? I mean, there was probably who knows? There could have been corruption going on there too. But this guy's in office now. I'm hoping there can be some stuff done at the federal level to maybe stall a lot of the things he's trying to do. But, then you got to worry about state sovereignty and all this other kind of stuff. But it's bad. It's bad. And we knew it was bad. I mean, he just appointed Ramzi Kazim as he was a lawyer who previously represented an Al-Qaeda defendant as the city's chief counsel and his top legal advisor. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That tells you who he's all about or what he's all about.
Yeah. So, and, I know that there were talks that that there may be rumblings and rumors that he wants to cancel different holidays and things like that, the 4th of July and this and that. So it's coming, New York. I'm here in the thick of it with you. I'm hoping to get out myself. I'm working on it really aggressively, but I can't move any faster than I already am. But it's really sad. It's really sad what's happening to the city.
Well, I pray for you guys all the time.
I know you do. Thank you so much. Yeah, it really sucks. It's something that makes me really, really nauseous when I think about it. I know that I saw some videos where there was like a call to prayer going on in Brooklyn.
It's nuts.
So yeah. But how about we get off planet Earth for just a second?
Yeah, we'll go out to
maybe have some fun up in the sky and see what's going on.
Sharing the wrong tab. Here we go.
Yeah.
We'll go out to space.com. The Hubble Space Telescope discovers a new type of cosmic object. Astronomers are on cloud 9.
I love the colors.
Oh, yeah. Pretty pink, purple. I don't know. Pretty in,
Pretty
interstellar photography. It's a warning sign if you see it on a woman. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, astronomers have discovered a new type of cosmic object, a cloud of dark matter and gas that contains no stars. Ooh. The object, located around 14 million light years from the Earth at the outskirts of the spiral galaxy Messier 94, M94, also known as, has been nicknamed Cloud 9. That's a fitting nickname given the delight scientists would have found if Cloud 9 lives up to its potential. The new object could not only potentially explain how galaxies formed from gatherings of dark matter in the early universe, but could also grant insights into the very nature of the mysterious stuff. The cloud is a window into the dark universe. Didn't Marvel make a movie about that? Anyway, a team of Andrew Fox Association, team member Andrew Fox of the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy Space. Oh, God. Aura STSC. I'm not going to. And European Space Agency.
It's just really?
Yeah. Anyway, we know from theory that most mass of the universe is expected to be dark matter, but difficult to detect this dark material because it doesn't emit light. Cloud 9 gives us a rare look into a dark matter dominated cloud. Dark matter is thought to account for 85% of the stuff in the universe, but remains frustratingly invisible because it doesn't interact with electromagnetic radiation such as light. That means scientists can only infer the presence of dark matter via its interaction with gravity and the influence that interaction has with ordinary matter on light. That's a mouthful. So
right.
they found a cloud of gas out in space that they think may validate their theories on what the universe is actually made of. So that's what's got them all giddy. That's what's got them all happy. It could be groundbreaking. It could just be more, science community fluffing themselves.
Right. And continuing to say well, if you want us to keep finding some cool stuff, you got to give us money.
Give us mo money. Give us mo money.
The Hubble telescope is like their big toy right now.
And the other one as well. Isn't there an updated version that's even better than the Hubble? It went up the Hubble went up 20 years ago. There was another one that went up 5 or 8 years ago. I don't know.
T-Bone. I don't know. I feel like it's does it say it anywhere in the cut? No, I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue because I thought maybe the Hubble sounded different than a new one, but now I can't remember what it is. But it is cool. Did they just? I mean, it's not that color though, right? Because they had to kind of add colors to it.
Yeah, they always these photographs they're always put together digitally and kind of spiced up for publications. Yeah. Is it real or is it AI?
Ooh. Right. It is really.
I stumbled onto a transition.
What?
Yeah. It's about that time anyway.
Yes. My favorite time.
The best time.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, T-Bone. You'll love this. It's your game. Let's play. Okay, you know the deal. We're going to put up an AI-generated image. You got to generate a caption for it. So, without further ado, let me get it on the right tab to share, and here you go.
Nice. That's a badass photo right there.
This one does have an instant win condition. Instant win condition. If you get somewhere close to the prompt I used to generate this image, it's an instant win. Otherwise, we'll take a vote from the crowd.
All right, let's see.
I can't win because I made it, so I don't get a vote.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something, but I'd much rather you guys in the audience just participate and one of you guys win. I don't even think I can come up with anything right now. I'm trying to think. I just keep saying like Rain of Fire.
Okay.
Oh, I said USS. Like I type my fingers. I can't even type. But I basically said Rain of Fire era of USA. But I said USS.
Ooh. Oh, Rebel's coming out swinging. I like this. I like that one. Let me get the chat up.
Oh, nice. Rat-a-tat-tat, Shington.
I was thinking about well-regulated.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that. That's short and sweet. And everybody, and every Patriot will know what that means. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, T-Bun's in the chat. Come on, man. Give us a banger. Have faith in you.
Dougie road trip. I know you felt the pain. You're on the other side, the mess. But yeah, I really love these AI generated photos. They're really, really cool.
Oh, I just put together Rat-a-tat-Tashington. Instead of Washington, Rat-a-tat-Tashington.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Ooh, that is dangerously close to the instant win condition.
All right. Well, if we don't get any more submissions, Rebel's gonna take it. But I'm liking it. We'll have to just put her up against herself and try to figure out which one is better.
Yeah.
I wish I could. Can I delete mine?
I get what you're saying. Rain of Fire, U.S. Era, United States, I guess.
There we go. I'll just put it back. I'm brain dead tonight. I know, me too. I'm super tired.
Damn, Doug. Hate it for you. I'm actually kind of brain dead tonight myself.
It's just like the middle of the week stuff. It's just like, trying to get over that hump. Yeah, blah.
Yep, exactly. All right, we're going to give it 3 more minutes for submissions. Otherwise, Rat-a-tat-Tashington wins by default.
Okay, deal. Hello, Trenton. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, dang it. Rebel.
Oh, Rebel came out swinging today.
All you got to do is run out the clock. You've already won. You don't have to keep throwing Hail Marys, my lady.
Oh, hey, Rebel, did you start your sourdough journey? You gotta let me know. Yeah, I really like now that you explained it, so I didn't notice it at first. I like the rat-a-tat.
I had to think about it. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Hello, Trenton. Say hello to my little friend. That's a good one, but it still doesn't top Rat-a-tat-Tashington.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, 2026, I think, is going to be a wild year.
Wow. I mean, more has happened in the first week of this year than, I don't know, ever.
Yeah. The waffles are always good though, Rebel. I still haven't tried to make pancakes yet. I want to try.
All right, Rebel. I'm pretty sure the timer's run out. So yeah, you are the winner
Congratulations, Rebel.
with Rat-a-tat-tashington.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for submitting. And thank you, Doug, for trying. I'm right there with you. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for coming out, hanging out with us, watching the show, talking with us.
I wish Aaron had been here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna DM that one there and tell her, give me your worst.
Yes. But yeah, if you want to follow the show, of course you can do that. The Real Roma _8K on X. You can follow me if you like, Elizabeth213A, or Brian at Brian Tidwell1, or you could just type in the Get Off My Lawn, and it should come up as well. You can also go to our website, riseofmiddleamerica.com. You can see all of our shows, our videos, the most recent videos up there. You can see all of our socials. You can join Discord. You can hang out with us when we're not on the show and everything. And you can use that Q&R code right at the top of the screen. Thanks, Brian. And that'll take you straight there to the website. And if you feel inclined, please share the show with your friends. Trying to get the word out, trying to become one of the biggest podcasts out there eventually, a network. So definitely sharing, but just you guys coming and joining and hanging out with us means the world. So we appreciate you always. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you, Brian. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you for putting a great show together, as you always do.
I was really proud of tonight's caption, this image. And oh, by the way, it started out, George Washington as a space marine from Warhammer 40K. Yeah.
That sounds like something where you're been up really, really late, and your mind starts wandering, and you piece all these really cool things together.
Well, actually,
what if Superman went and moved the planet over here? All this outrageous stuff.
The best caption this prompts early for AI generation come from shower thoughts or shitter thoughts.
Yeah. Why do we think so much while we're in the shower? You'd think we'd be meditating, but I swear I think about what I have to do for the rest of the day, what I might want to do for the weekend with this and that, what I said yesterday with this, a whole bunch of stuff. My mind's just racing like crazy. Even when I'm washing my hair, you would think it would just kind of rattle your brain a little bit, but I'm just thinking of a million things. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful Wednesday evening. We got over the hump, and don't forget tomorrow 9 p.m. Eastern, same place. Tay and I believe maybe AK might be on, but you will have Sunset Rants tomorrow, so definitely join. And right after Sunset Rants tomorrow, it's going to be Roma Sports as well, so that's back in action. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful time, and we'll see you next one. Bye.
Yep. See you next time. And let's bring up the motherfucker lady.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.